of our administrators are busy at the moment. Please hold the line and we will answer your call as soon as possible. Unfortunately, we are still busy. Please continue to hold. Unfortunately, we are still busy. Please continue to hold.
Access, Josh speaking. How can I help?
Hi Josh, this is Mr. Hussain. I'm ringing on behalf of Mr. Talib Hussain, date of birth 15/9/1960, and I would like you to put me through to Mr. Christopher Browell, who's rang me up today and left a message for a callback.
No problem. I will just pop you through as soon as I can. Do you say the brother?
I'm the brother, yes.
Okay. Right, Chris Browell. I'm going to try and pop you through now.
Thank you.
Hi, Shazad.
Oh, hi Chris, how are you doing?
I'm okay, you okay?
Yes, I'm okay. It's never nice pleasant to have to ring you up like this. You're a difficult guy to get a hold of, and obviously some things happen to trigger me to call you up again. So that's the reason I'm calling up. Something's happened, and I just wanted to have a discussion with you on this point. But before I continue, can you tell me if there's been further developments or updates on your end?
Well, basically the updates that I can provide is that I'm trying to speak to appointeeships, and I know you kind of yourself and Talib, you don't really want to validate the appointeeship or accept any money, but I'm trying to kind of arrange some kind of offer or system that we could present to you to see if it could.
Okay, so
in any way trying to get things moving.
So basically, you're looking to formulate a proposal by speaking to your team or managers or the other parts of the authorities, and you're looking to put forward a proposal to us, which should, if we're satisfied, can be a means to move matters forward. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, other than the development of getting us some money, has there been? I mean, I've raised some other pertinent points to yourself. Have there been any other developments on any of the other issues that I've raised?
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well, the reason I'm calling up is because obviously one of the pertinent issues is the fact that you, the local authority, have unilaterally put a council tax liability on both me and my brother Talib, and hence why now we've received a summons to court. And that's what's obviously triggered me ringing yourself up again. Is that obviously this is a ludicrous situation where I'm no longer in a position to represent my brother. There are ongoing court proceedings, as you're fully aware, regarding the housing association. And right now, you're effectively I've got two summons, one in my name and one in my brother's name. And as you can appreciate, my brother's not in a position. Well, he really should. Both of us should not be paying council tax because we're eligible for a rebate, simply because my brother's on qualifying benefits. Even if he was not on qualifying benefits, he's obviously under the section 117, he's not entitled to pay for anything. Similarly, like myself, I'm a carer. And obviously last August, you, the local authority, not you personally, but you, the local authority in the background, have colluded and conspired with the Department of Work and Pensions to have my carers allowance unilaterally removed. Obviously that got reinstated back in January this year. So obviously I don't need to pay because I'm on carers allowance. Obviously, as you can appreciate, I'm now on 67 or 69 pounds, or sorry, it's been updated to 76 pounds, I think, a week. And in addition to this, you're taking money off me for the payments regarding the criminal convictions. That continues to take money off there. Presently, my brother's not receiving any money at all. So, frankly, it's a ludicrous position to find ourselves in, where you, the council, know the fact that we have no money, and yet you're charging us £2,000 council tax. and now we've got £2,000 times 2 because it's come on both of our names separately. So I just wanted to basically, bring this point to your consideration that this is a problem that's been created simply by yourselves, acting, not you personally, but obviously the local authority acting with contempt and malevolence, and it's very, very exasperating because obviously, as you can appreciate, £77 a week for two people to live off, especially in the current climate of the cost of living crisis, is simply simply insane, or simply ludicrous. And the fact that I know the fact that my brother's now receiving like over £300 from the cost of living from the government through his benefit system that he's not getting as well. So you're basically accumulating all this money to a tune of over hundreds of thousands of pounds, and you're not telling us how much that money is, acting as gatekeepers to that information, and at the same time, you're hounding us with, council tax liabilities and summons to the courts. I don't know if you've ever been summoned to the court for a council tax liability yourself, Mr. Browell, have you?
No, I don't think I have. No.
Okay, well, I have, and this is basically a clear shambolic scam. I mean, you would expect that if I've been summoned to a court by the council, that any reasonable person would think that I would have to attend court. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Because it's a summons, isn't it? You're summoned to a court. All right.
Uh-huh.
However, I know on good experience, and this is a fact, that once you're summoned to the court and you attend court, you don't actually go before a magistrate. You actually go into a courtroom, and the only people that are there are council employees, and they sit you down and ask you how you're going to pay. So effectively what the council does is they book a room at the magistrate's court, and then effectively summon people to the court. And when people come, and I've attended these sessions, these fraudulent sessions, where maybe even like 50 people have been summoned, or even more that actually attend. And the reality is that not one of those people are going to go before magistrates. They're effectively going to be going in front of other council employees, and those council employees are simply looking to make arrangements of how payments are being made. So that in itself, in my personal experience, is evidently fraudulent. It's just without a doubt a shambolic thing where people are getting intimidated to come to court. Now, I know you've attended court yourself. It's quite an intimidating experience, isn't it? So a lot of people get intimidated and end up like reaching a deal, and that's what it's there for. But now the situation is one where the local authority are fully utilising the virtual court. So we're not even going to be able to go to court or in front of a magistrate to argue our point. We're simply basically being railroaded into, speaking to yourselves for an issue that doesn't exist. Now,
Have you tried to speak with them, Shazad? Have you tried to phone them?
No, I haven't, because obviously I want a single point of contact, which is yourself. I don't want to be dealing with loads of... Look, Mr. Browell, since this case has been going on, I have adhered to the local authorities' policy of not contacting anybody else, have I? I could have contacted the solicitors myself. I could have contacted Mr. Muller myself. But obviously, at this moment, because the situation is so complex, and the fact that you've been involved in this case for over a year or two, and the fact that it's only reasonable for me to say I need a single point of contact, and it would be disingenuous for me to deal with you, the local authorities' compartmentalization process of dealing with 10 different departments. And the decision maker in the background pulling the strings and asking me to go run around through from department to department. I mean, the reality is that, as far as I'm concerned, you work for Bradford Council, you're a social worker, you're involved in our case, and you're a single point of contact. Hence why I'm speaking to yourself. I mean, the alternative is that I've attempted in the... Sorry.
When is the summons for? When is it?
I think it's for the 5th of June.
I know you sent the other letter, but is there any phone number on the summons?
What I'll do after I finish this call with yourself, I'll email you a copy of the order that the summons that's in my brother's name.
Okay.
Okay. So then, will you be able to take that matter further?
I don't know. I can try. I don't know whether they'll speak with me, but I can try.
But you work for the, you know what? It's not. They would be wrong for the council department to speak to other members of the public on behalf of my brother because they would require the adequate authority. But you work for the council.
I don't know how it works. It's for example, if I phoned, the benefits office or things like that, often they need that third party authority to speak with me. So I'm not sure if it's different as I work for the same organisation.
Okay. Well, that's an issue that I've had in the past is that obviously when you as an employee of Bradford Council could send an email to another department of Bradford Council and they can verify that this is an internal email, all right, and therefore, with regard to authority and stuff, what concerns me greatly is the fact that when you, the local authority, want to speak to the GPs, they don't require third party authority. They don't require consent or authority. Where, as you know, in the past, you the local authority social workers have been contacting both my mother's doctors' GP practices in the background. You've also communicated with my own GP in the GP practice in the background. And this issue that we've previously dealt with is where obviously you've been informing my brother's GP practice that we've moved to Bradford, or we've moved addresses on. They've been providing you with information regarding my brother potentially having diabetes. I've also mentioned to you the fact that your manager Vicina Brown has contacted them on the telephone and had discussions regarding my brother's case with the GP practice in Oldham. So do you understand that when it suits your purpose, when I say you, I mean the collective corporation, the Bradford Council. When it suits your purpose, you can bypass and step aside any kind of authority, which I would anticipate would be the case, considering that the GP practice, especially that it's in Oldham, would require some sort of authority from yourselves. And I've also spoken to the GP practices, like why have they allowed access or consultation with outside agencies, and they said, oh well, under safeguarding. And under the pretext of safeguarding, you've sidestepped the authorities, and now when quite clearly you're within the same organization and you're telling me that there might be some issue with this. I mean, ultimately, you have a line of communication with Mr. Muller, the financial deputy in place now for my brother, and ideally it's his role and responsibility to liaise with the council tax, or you can liaise, or because it's an internal matter now, isn't it? And what concerns me is that there's this what concerns me is that who has reported us to the council tax. Remember, I raised this concern last time. That we've not reported ourselves for council tax liability, considering that effectively, Mr. Browell, that we're in this property unlawfully as it presently stands, or the question of our legal occupancy of this property is being contested in court. So why has the local authority simply slapped on a council tax liability without our permission, and who's done that? And then subsequently, the person that's done that knows full well that we would be entitled to a council tax rebate, and they've deliberately chosen not to apply that council tax rebate. And so put us into this situation. So what I have done in my past, in the past, as you know, Mr. Browell, is that I've then made a subject access request to the local authority, to the local council, saying, give me all this information so I can get to the bottom of who's making these unilateral decisions in our absence. And
do you think Birmingham Housing could have said that it's because you live in there? I mean, I don't know how it works, but I mean, if that place is empty, would they need to pay for the council tax? And as you're residing there, that they've then reported that to the council tax?
But they've not informed me though. They've not informed us though, have they? And irrespective, if Birmingham Housing, as you can appreciate, are we liable for a council tax? And if we are liable for
No, I'm not saying that. But when you're saying who has reported you to the council tax, is it from within the council, or it could be Birmingham Housing?
I mean, what you say there does sound reasonable, and that probably potentially could have been the situation. But I don't know. I don't know for definite that is the case, is it? So this is one of the reasons that rather than assuming things, Because you know what they say about assuming, you make an ass of yourself, rather than me assuming, because that sounds probably right, that if there's a property, empty property, that, you know, obviously how Manningham Housing would have received that notice and they may have notified you. But you know what really concerns me is that under these circumstances, that seems a reasonable understanding. But I know in my personal experience, so when I was living in Oldham, I did not tell the local authority that I moved to Oldham, and they were sending they were sending council tax liabilities to Oldham. So that was nothing to do with Manningham Housing, was it then? So the reality is that potentially Manningham Housing could have told them, but ultimately the decision makers know the fact that, I mean, you know, the council knows the fact that we're living here, but like we've told you, all right, and obviously the senior people know that we're living here, and I just think it's like on the one hand, your argument could be that Manningham Housing could have told them, but then that has to be in the context of on the previous occasions who's told them about us moving, and people are making these decisions like unilaterally in on my behalf without my consent or permission, and that's concerning. So that's, I have to take that into the context. So, but ultimately, can you understand that as a local authority, you have legal obligations to comply with the legislation and law. Now, one of the concerning factors is that I've made a subject access request for all that data using the council tax as an identity document, and then they've gone on to about we're not going to comply until you give us your passport and driving license, which I've obviously taken issue with because I don't need to provide that, and the legislation does not require me to provide that. That's over draconian. And so we're now in a situation where, on numerous occasions, you're the council are refusing to make us comply with subject access requests on either my behalf or my brother's behalf, and that's the same with your counterparts at the Bradford District Care Trust. And we seem to be finding ourselves in this, black hole, black box vacuum, where you're basically not giving us any information. And that seems to be like a recurring theme where you have effectively gone to the Court of Protection in my absence and said, don't allow him to get any records of his brother, which, obviously I didn't have a chance to argue or put forward. But can you understand, like, you're just basically acting as controllers and guardians to all the money and all the information, and at the same time then precipitating these acts of aggression and intimidation by taking court action against me. So I mean, I just wanted to bring this to your attention. I won't be speaking to them. Let them get their summons, and then obviously we'll see about that, because obviously you, the local authority, have a duty of care to my brother, because you're on the one hand saying, look, accept the fact that we are now his deputies, financial deputies, so we have effective lasting power of attorney rights over him, but yet you're not representing him in any court proceedings, and in fact you're issuing court proceedings against my brother, who could neither speak, read or write English, who's obviously in full requiring 24-hour care from myself. So it's just basically a ludicrous situation that nobody's willing to resolve and are willing to antagonize and agitate me further. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention, that this can be easily resolved with. It doesn't need to be like this. I mean, if you're saying that you're entitled to council tax liability, then quite clearly we are entitled to a council tax rebate. Now, I can't make that application because you got all my brother's finances. I don't even know what kind of benefits he's on now.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, if you send that over, I'll try and contact them. But what else was there? Sorry.
Well, I mean, I think that was a main issue. I don't want to take too much of your time today, but obviously the reality is that, look, there are several outstanding issues. Can I just confirm? Did you receive my email that I sent you recently?
Yeah, I did receive that email. Yeah.
Yeah, regarding the police report.
Yes.
Yes. So I sent that to yourself, and did you manage to review the attached document?
I've had a quick look. Yes, I don't usually open any links really. On this one, I did open the link.
Okay, and so did you manage to review the police complaint that I had lodged with the West Yorkshire?
I think I've read some of it. I didn't really understand. It was well written. I didn't really understand what. I don't understand legalese as such, and I didn't really fully understand what it was in regards to.
Well, the police, it was a police complaint, wasn't it?
Right.
All right. So when you say, can I just confirm that that was on the 7th, like last week? I sent it last week, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. I've just loaded it up now, and you're saying you reviewed some of it.
Well, yeah, because I don't see, is it the one that mentions Aaron solicitors or something, or?
Yes, Aaron solicitors, yes.
Yeah, I just didn't, it's not something that I mean, is it from 2 or 3 years ago? It's not really something I'm kind of party to know what it's with regards to be honest.
Okay, all right. Well, first of all, it's not an attachment, is it? It's a link to a video.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not an attachment. I'm just reminding myself because I've loaded it up now. It's an attachment to a video. The video is a police report. Basically, it's what is it? It's a video detailing my police report, which was a written thing. Let me just see this now. Yeah, and obviously in it I refer to. So basically, it's a report made on the 15th of January 2018. Now, one of the reasons that I brought that to your attention is because when we were speaking last time, you were telling me the fact that there was a mental capacity assessment report made by somebody in the court of protection, and I just wanted to highlight the fact that this is me reporting the matter to the police, all right, and highlighting the fact that this is my brother who's committing an act of fraud, all right, and so is the, I think it was a report by Barry Fitzgerald of TFS Consultancy, and that's what you were relying upon, and quite clearly this report evidences that I had informed the police about this matter, all right, that the local authority have effectively worked with my brother Adalat, and just like they've been working with all my other siblings and relatives in order to achieve their agenda. As you can appreciate, Adalat has played a pivotal role in the local authority action being taken against me and my brother. All right, and his effective job was, he's been acting as a proxy agent a proxy agent or a bad agent for the council, and he's got nothing to do with us. We're left now in a situation where I've made police reports and nothing's been resolved. So this was, my brother Adalat was recruited effectively by Bradford Council in order to basically partake in the proceeds of crime hearings on behalf of my family members, when he himself was working for Bradford Council, and so was Aaron solicitors. And so effectively, this is just a cover-up. And all I was trying to illustrate to yourself was that, look, I have reported the matter to the police, and as I have done on many other occasions, all I could do is report the matter to the police, and the police are refusing to do something. And we're in this situation because the police are not doing their job properly, or they're refusing to take on any complaints that I lodge on behalf of my family members. And not only West Yorkshire Police, and obviously a couple of years ago when me and my brother were in Oldham, I was lodging similar complaints to the Greater Manchester Police without equal any joy regarding the proceedings that were happening then. In fact, I had reported the matter of your attendance in October to the police then as well, that look, we're being harassed, that people are coming from Oldham, people are coming from Bradford in October to harass us. And a harassment complaint was made to the Greater Manchester Police at the end of October. They didn't do nothing. However, they then chose to, target myself when the GP practices were saying that I was acting abusive or something, or negligent towards my brother. So can you understand? I'm exasperated because evidently there is collusion by the police authorities both in West Yorkshire and Greater Manchester with Bradford Council, and also there's collusion between Bradford Council and my relatives and siblings, and also there's collusion, more importantly there's collusion between Bradford Council and the Court of Protection and the judges there. So we're in a situation where ultimately everybody's colluding and conspiring with Bradford Council, and I'm made to look like a fool because I sound like I'm some sort of conspiracy theorist nut. And the bottom line and the bottom reality is that mother's been murdered. We've not got any resolution about what happened to her death. And similarly, we're looking at my brother's situation where, now he's ended up with no security of accommodation, no security of finances, no security of any health care, no security or access to any health care or anything like this. We're in a really bad situation. And while we're in this very precarious situation, you, the local authority, are further sticking the knife in us by saying that we owe you council tax for £2,000. So, like, I'm not sure what else I can do in this situation. I mean, if you're saying the fact that you're struggling to understand how you can assist the situation, try to understand it from my perspective. Every day I see my brother deteriorating because of the fact that he's upset that he's not got to see his own mother when she's died, and there's no certainty that we're having. So we're in this situation, and this is a situation that you, the local authority, have created, where your hands are clean, and everything's been pointed at myself.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Browell, I'm just trying to. The reason I'm ringing yourself up is right now, you, the local authority, are making all this money. You're accumulating all this money. Not like the only thing that you've so far agreed with me, or you are fully in agreement of, is that you should not be holding Talib's money, should you?
Okay.
Yeah, you agree with me that that's not direct payments for social care. That's his.
I agree. Yeah, I'm just saying okay to what you said.
No, okay. No, but you do agree with me that his benefit money should be given to him, and you should not be accumulating it.
Yes, I do agree that way. But I also say that there's a court-approved appointeeship in place to provide Talib access to his money. So.
But the court. I mean, look. Let's just take one thing at a time. His DWP benefit money. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Can we try and wind this up, because honestly I haven't got time really. So.
But Mr. Browell, look, I have to ring you up. This morning when I rang you up here and you didn't answer, I was 30 minutes waiting on the line, and then only to know the.
Because you've called several times. If I knew a telephone call would last 20 minutes, I would probably try to answer every time.
Yeah.
Once a week I try and answer, but if it's over an hour, it's very rarely that I've got over an hour to spare in a day to be able to talk on a phone.
No, that's fair enough. And no blame is being put at you, because the 30 minutes I was waiting, it was not I was waiting for you to answer. That once I had got through from the call center, I was waiting to get through to speak to the switchboard. And so when I got through after 30 minutes, obviously they said it's not available. That's not an issue. It's the fact that when I have to ring you up, potentially I can be waiting 30 minutes. And I don't have 30 minutes to spare as well, to be told simply that Mr. Browell is not available and leaving a message. Now, when I've rang yourself up, can you understand that this equally takes up my time and resources, which I've highlighted to you that I'm not being remunerating for. I've got better things to do, but we're in the situation now. It's the 16th of May 2023. And my brother's not had any money at all, which is clearly evident since the 19th of February 2021, when we were made homeless. And the situation and the court proceedings that you're mentioning, obviously there's something fraudulent going on there, because obviously we didn't even attend the final hearing. The court order was done administratively by District Judge Beckley, who have made claims that is clearly on the take. We're in this situation. So how can it be that we've gone to the court of protection, you've got a court order, and yet we're in the same situation that we were before the court hearings commenced? Namely, you want all the money, and you're not providing us with any recourse of getting access to that money other than £250 a week, which you have determined that's what we require to live upon. But the question still remains is that on this proposal that you're willing to put forward to us, I ask you the simple question that you've got hundreds of thousands of pounds accumulated, which is you cannot agree that that's correct, because it's a criminal offence in law that you cannot accumulate Talib's benefit money, because you, the local authority, have criminally convicted me of the very same charge, all of me accumulating the benefit money and a direct payment money. So you cannot, on the one hand, criminally convict me and send me to prison for the very same thing that you're doing. And so the question I had asked you is that how do you propose to have that money dissipated? There was no clear answer as how you propose to have that money dissipated. All you're saying is that accept the £250 now, and then at some later stage you provide us with some receipts and justify to us, basically beg us for the money that we've accumulated unlawfully. But ultimately, Mr. Browell, we've asked a simple question in order to move this matter forward. It's a very simple, straightforward question that my brother asked you back in May last year, so over a year ago, when you had physically come down to see my brother, and he had asked you how much money have you accumulated. To this date, you've not told us a definitive answer to this, have you? I mean, all you've said is over £100,000. What is the answer? What is, as of today, what is my brother's balance that you, the local authority...
Like I said, I've given you an indication, and I understand that you're not happy with that. That's what I've been told I can provide is that indication. I understand you're not happy with that. As I said, we're trying to work out a way that you've asked about how can the money be dissipated, trying to get a kind of a reasonable plan together to provide an answer to that. And maybe in response to that, you could reply to that letter and request for the balance. But at this stage, I'm not able to give you the balance. But,
okay.
It provided a ballpark figure.
But why?
I think it's reasonably near what the balance is. So
but no, Mr. Browell, the fact is that why would you be... We're asking for the balance. That's my brother's money that you accumulate on his behalf. You obviously have to give that. You have to give an account to the Office of the Public Guardian. All right, that's something that you have to do. All right, I'm obviously... What the problem, Mr. Browell, is this, that you, the local authority, don't want to officially recognize the role I play in advocating and representing my brother. This is the elephant in the room, or the serious problem that we're having here, because this call is not being recorded by you, is it?
No.
Okay, and it's not being logged by you as well, because obviously, obviously the call's not being recorded, and so therefore you've not responded. And it is correct that to this date you've not responded to any one of my emails, have you?
No.
And you've not written out to me, have you?
I think I've sent letters to you before.
No. No, I think you've sent them to my brother. You've addressed them to my brother, not to me.
Right.
All right. I'm not sure, but the problem is that you, the local authority, are refusing to recognize in writing or have it documented that I am obviously representing my brother. So there's nothing written down. So in fact, these conversations that we're having are informal. It's obviously, and whatever you're writing down, we don't have get a copy of access to it, because you're not complying to the subject access request. So we're at this crossroads, because the elephant in the room is this, that yes, you've got a court of protection order to be Talib's deputy for his finances. That was done under false and fraudulent undertakings by buying off the judge. But also, the only reason that you've had to buy off the judge, District Judge Beckley, is because you've had to criminally convict me. And the reason that you criminally convicted me and got away with it is that previously you have to buy off Judge Saville. And in my experience, even in the last time I was in the courts, in my brother's case, I was up before District Judge Wilcox. And what you, the local authority, do, and this is what this is the reality that I'm facing, is that you, the local authority, have back-end deals with solicitors, and you coerce them into becoming judges on a quid pro quo arrangement. That is the reality. Now, obviously, nobody wants to accept this, but Judge Saville was made a judge just so that he could have me criminally convicted. Similarly, District Judge Wilcox has been made a judge recently. In the first week was the hearing that we last attended in November regarding the Housing Association case. So the reality is that the local authority, in order to get these orders, they buy off the judges, and the judges simply railroad through the orders. And that was my personal, lived experience through the court protection in my mum's case, where every time I would go to court, the judge was rubber stamp any orders that the council will put forward and not listen to anything I'm saying. So, with due respect, when you're saying to me that, oh, there's a court order in place and I have to act in respecting that, you may have to act in respecting that, but we obviously as a family don't respect that order, because that order was a fraudulent instrument. But now, ultimately, you put us into this situation, which is obviously, reckless on your behalf. It's a reckless on behalf of the Office of the Public Guardian to leave us in this situation. It's a reckless on the behalf of District Judge Beckley and the Court of Protection to put us into this situation. Highly reckless that we've got access to nothing, effectively endangering our life. And then you're saying to me, Mr. Browell, that you don't have enough time. And with respect, I'm glad that you've called me up and we've had an opportunity to speak. But I'm not saying that you're acting recklessly. Mr. Christopher Browell, I'm not saying that you're acting recklessly, but I am stating that your employers, the local authority, Bradford Council, in collaboration with everybody else, is acting very recklessly. Now, the simple question is that in order for you to put a proposal forward, we will need to know how much money you've got.
That's fine. Shazad, like I said, I haven't got that answer for you at the moment. It's something that I can continue to see if there's going to be any change on that. Currently that's the way it is. So I can understand your frustration at that, but I haven't got any other answer for you.
I understand, and remember, nobody's holding you accountable. I'm holding the local authority accountable. Alright, the local authority, remember, this is Kirsten England, who's obviously leaving very soon. But it's more than just Kirsten England. It's the councillors. They're all in a position to do something. They're putting. Look, Mr. Brown, all I need to do is highlight to you that you're presently acting recklessly as a local authority, and you're endangering my brother's life. Can you understand? How do you expect me and my brother to live off £76 a week?
Yeah, I know, and that's why I'm trying, like I said, I'm trying to...
Okay, alright. And then, and then the proposal is that you're gonna give us some money. But this money that you're gonna give us, as I said, I just need to understand how under what legal basis are you giving us this money to us? Alright? Because obviously I don't understand the legal basis, and then obviously the other problem is that who are you giving this money to? Because you can't give it to my brother doesn't want it. And my brother doesn't need it. And my brother doesn't require it. Because he's authorized me to act on his behalf. So can you see the problem here is that even if you were to put forward a proposal that, we're going to give you £250 a week, who are you formally giving that to? And then if you're giving it formally to my brother Talib, what safeguards are you putting in place to protect myself? And can you understand that you, the local authority, are sitting idly back because you know the fact that you're getting every week that goes by is a week that you're accumulating more money. There's nothing I can do about it because I can't go to the police. West Yorkshire Police are your puppets. They work for you. They will not take any complaints I put to them seriously or pursue them. I can't take this to the Court of Protection because you bought off all the judges. You bought off the judges in my mum's case, senior justices, to get her murdered off. So I can't go to the Court of Protection. I can't effectively go to the courts because Nick Goodwin, who was the public guardian in my brother Talib's case, is now the head of the Court, Her Majesty's Courts and Tribunal Services. So basically, you've rigged this whole game in your favour. So alright, you're in charge now. Resolve the situation. This is a problem that you've created. And then rather than resolving the situation, you're antagonizing me further with further council tax liabilities. Alright, in my name, basically you're ruining us financially and then sitting back and saying we're doing everything lawfully because we've got a court order from a judge who's prostituted his services to us. So it's very, very frustrating, Mr. Browell, that I'm here, on the 16th of May, having the very same conversation I could have had with you a year ago or 2 years ago, because you, the local authority, are acting with malevolence. Now, with regards to any proposals that you're looking to put forward, are you going to provide any time frame, or is it all going to be just whenever we get around to it?
The time frame for the proposal?
Well, I'm just asking for how any time frame in resolving the outstanding issues. All right. So in regards to this proposal, I mean, what have you done so far?
So I'm hoping we're drawing up a letter, and a letter will be sent out. But I'd hope to get that sent out in the next week or so.
Next week or so, okay. And who's that a letter addressed to?
Do you think it will be better addressed to yourself or to Talib?
Yeah, obviously, because obviously to date you've not addressed anything to me, have you? You keep on addressing to Talib, so you can address it to myself as Talib's representative.
Okay. Okay. I think we've addressed. Is it okay to address it to Talib's care of yourself, or just can I address it to both of you? I'm not sure.
Well, I don't understand why you need to address it to Talib. He doesn't speak or read or write English. If you want to address it to Talib, you've previously been told that you need to put it in Urdu. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're not going to spend extra money to put it in Urdu, and he doesn't read Urdu. So like the reality is that I don't know what you're willing to propose to us.
So if we address it to yourself and say as Talib's representative.
Yes. As Talib's representative, that'd be fine. I'll address that, but you'll be addressing it to myself, and obviously but we would require a balance of how much money you've got, because at the end of the day, you said we've given you an indication of like it's over £100,000, but you've not told me how, and I don't understand why that would be an issue. It's a very basic understanding that if it's Talib's money and you're accumulating it, and you're a public authority, and you're under the
I know we've gone through this many times, Shazad,
okay.
And I think it's my understanding that is typical what happens. I can understand that you're not happy with that, but it's not a special thing that they're withholding that information from Talib. That is what they do. So,
okay.
That doesn't mean that
okay.
you can agree with it and think it's right.
Okay.
That's what they do.
Okay, all right, that's fair enough. And in my understanding, there is no policies, procedures, or even laws that the council follows. They do.
I'll revisit that question again.
Okay.
See if you can
But everything the council does is on a discretionary basis. So they have the discretion. All right. So you're saying because I'm telling you that it's not written in law, it may be some like a normal procedure or a convention that they follow. But in my understanding, the local authority don't do anything by the law or by any procedures. They do everything discretionary, and hence why initially, when my brother was released into my care and custody back in 2005, you were paying effectively me money, the £410.70 a week on a discretionary basis. There's an element of discretionary aspects. All right, that the local authority can utilize, because other than the discretionary aspect saying that we're forced to not provide this information, then obviously that's just basically you saying that on our discretion we don't want to give you the information, because the reality is that there is no justifiable reason why you are even Talib's DWP appointee or got the court order or anything like this. It's all fraudulent. All right, and so right now
we start wrapping it up now,
yes,
please,
Mr. Brown.
Shazad.
Yes,
Okay,
Mr. Brown. Now, with respect, I'm courteous that you've called me. Can we arrange when you will send out the letter, so at least I know, because we're in a dire situation right now. I'm telling you that you're acting recklessly. I don't know what else to do.
I'll try and get it sent out next week, Shazad. Yeah. So hopefully you'll receive it next week.
Okay, but why can't? I mean, we're on Tuesday today. Why would you not be able to knock this letter out and send it by the end of the week?
Because I need to make sure it's cleared before I send the letter out, haven't I? So
yeah, okay, that's fair. And who do you need to get that clarity from?
Well, it's from appointeeships in the legal department.
Okay, all right. So you don't need to get clearance from your managers like Mohammed Fayaz or something.
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Okay, all right. So the letter needs to be passed by the solicitors and the appointeeship before it comes out.
Yeah.
Okay, and so they're the real decision makers then, isn't it? Yes. It does not be. It does not need.
I don't think that the legal department, they're an advisory body, so I don't think you can say that they would certainly disagree with their decision making.
Okay, so do you need to get the letter approved by the Health and Wellbeing Director? Ian.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. No.
Okay, all right. Because ultimately, it's his responsibility, isn't it? Because he's the one that pursued the court of protection case against my brother and myself.
Right, I don't. Unfortunately, I don't think
Yeah.
Ian McBeath. It's one of his priorities, as far as I'm aware. Not that I've ever spoken with Ian McBeath, but
So you've never spoken to Ian McBeath?
no.
Well, he's the one that's done this. He's the one that pursued the court case.
Okay, well that's fine. Well, I wasn't involved when he instigated those matters with us, so.
Okay, look, Mr. Browell, thank you for your time. I'm not going to take up any further of your time, and I look forward to getting a letter from you as soon as possible. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thanks, Shazad. Cheers.
Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye.
So once again, he lied about being manipulated, or I don't know what's going on. I sent him a video, or rather than an attachment, and he's telling me, I had some brief review of it and stuff. I sent that to everybody. Basically, they're acting highly recklessly, endangering both me and my brother's life. And then where's the health and safety now? Or usually, they just jump on you on a health and safety violation. Oh no, this is a health and safety issue. We must act regardless. This is an endangerment to life. Here I am screaming to them, you're endangering me and my brother's life. We're at the situation where our life is being endangered. We've got no access to money, no access to healthcare services, no security of accommodation. My brother's suffering, I'm suffering, we're all suffering. We're telling you you're acting recklessly, you're acting recklessly, and they're taking this very laid back, laissez-faire attitude that, oh well, we'll get around to where we want. It's not a high priority for us. We'll just mosey on along. The reality is that they know I can't do anything. I can't go to the police. I can't instigate court proceedings. I don't. Me and my brother's human rights are not being protected. We're not got access to any kind of legal recourse, which we should have. But the reason that we don't have any access to any legal recourse is that not only will they buy off our solicitors, which has happened in the past, not only will they buy off the judges, but on the magistrates or the court, the arbitrators, they just buy them off, get outcomes railroaded to their advantage or to their narrative. But obviously now the head of the court of the Her Majesty's Courts and Tribunals, Nick Goodwin, is also on their unofficial payroll. Everybody, what I'm trying to say is that everybody is on the council's unofficial payroll. Now that might sound conspiratorial to most, but I know that to be a fact because I was on their unofficial payroll. They were paying me to stay silent. Only when I chose to turn tail upon them and look to whistleblow have they now looking to target me and my family and murdering us because I chose not to adhere to what they were doing. So, they have an unofficial payroll and everybody's on that unofficial payroll, including my siblings.